Welcome to Manifested Publishers.
How do you do, dear learner? My name is Wilson Mwangu, and I'm happy to welcome you to today's lesson. In the last lesson, we read a story entitled Mutulu, and it's about a boy whose name is Mutulu. And this boy was taking drugs, hard drugs actually. He was consuming cocaine and bang. And because drugs have a side effect on him, he began having what we call hallucinations. This is the word, hallucinations. This means you begin seeing things which do not exist. You can begin talking to yourself. You begin behaving like a madman. The mother took the boy to a doctor for examination, and the doctor confirmed that the boy was taking drugs. After that, Mutulu was taken to a rehabilitation center. Rehabilitation center. Now, this is a place where people who take drugs are made to change, okay? So after a few months, Mutulu went back home, a changed person. So that's just a short recap of the story, Mutulu. I gave you some questions to attempt, and that's what we're going to discuss in this lesson. So that will form the lesson objective. So by the end of the lesson, the learner should be able to answer comprehension questions. I'll go straight to the first question. So question 1. The question reads, how did the doctor know the cause of Mutulu's strange behavior? Remember, Mutulu was behaving like a madman, I told you. Hallucination, running around, talking to those people who are not existing. That's the strange behavior. So how did the doctor know the cause of Mutulu's strange behavior? Remember, Mutulu was taking drugs, okay? So how did the doctor know the cause of, how did he know that Mutulu was taking drugs? We are being told, the doctor suspected that Mutulu was taking drugs. We'll do some tests so that we can know for sure what is ailing your son. So he did some tests to confirm the cause of Mutulu's strange behavior. So we shall say, the doctor So the doctor did some tests to confirm, to know the cause of Mutulu's strange behavior. That's number one. Number two, The question is, why did the doctor think that Mutulu should be kept at home? It says this. Later, the doctor said to Mutulu's mother, "From the blood test, it appears that your son has been abusing drugs. His blood shows high levels of bang and cocaine. That's why he's having hallucinations. He can easily harm people or property around him. Now, my advice is to have him admitted to a rehabilitation center for treatment." So why did the doctor think Mutulu should not, let me correct here, should not be kept at home, should not be kept at home? We are told Mutulu became violent. When he takes drugs, they make him become violent, and he can easily harm people or property around. So we say, drugs made Mutulu become violent, and he could easily harm people, destroy property around him. That's number 2. Number 3, Mutulu's mother wept uncontrollably because A, her son had befriended a drug addict in the neighborhood. B, her son had become a drug trafficker. C, the doctor took some blood tests. And D, her effort to bring up her son well had been fruitless. This is what we are told. But why, my son? Why? Sobbed Mutulu's mother as she reflected on her efforts to bring up her son to be an upright man. Okay? She had worked hard to give her son quality education at one of the best schools in town. Sobbing means crying. Okay? Crying, which means weeping. So Mutulu's mother wept or cried because she had tried her level best to bring up her son to be an upright person. But Mutulu had let her down. That's why she wept uncontrollably. So number D, her effort to bring up her son well had been fruitless. She had tried her level best to bring up this son in a good way, but the son had disappointed her. So that's why she's weeping. That's number 3. I'll write number 4 here. What do you think Mutulu should have done to avoid drug abuse? What do you think Mutulu should have done to avoid drug abuse? So what should he have done to avoid drug abuse? Remember, what is the cause of Mutulu's drug abuse? Actually, it's his friend who made him start taking drugs. So he should have avoided bad company. His neighbor was the one who introduced Mutulu into drug abuse. So he should have avoided the neighbor, and that is bad company, okay? Yes. So you can say he should have avoided yes. You should have avoided the neighbor's son, neighbor's son who was abusing drugs. If the son introduced Mutulu into drug abuse. That's number 4. Number 5. From the passage, why do you think Mutulu's mother was partly to blame for his behavior? Partly means somehow. Why do you blame Mutulu's mother for Mutulu's behavior? Somehow. We are told she used to give him money, right? Whenever he wanted any money, she used to give him. So that excess money that Mutulu had, he used it for acquiring drugs. So the parents who give their children excess money might, in a way, drive their children into taking drugs. Not all of them, but in some cases. Like in the case of Mutulu, whereby his mother used to give him anything that he wanted, he asked for, okay? And that excess money now made Mutulu go into drug abuse. That's what we are saying, partly to blame. So we can say she used to give she gave Mutulu money whenever he asked for it, okay? So Mutulu used that money to engage into drug abuse. The last question, number 6. How do we know the rehabilitation center helped Mutulu? How do we know the rehabilitation center helped Mutulu? Okay, we are told a few months later, Mutulu stepped out of the rehabilitation center a changed person. He regretted having wasted his life. Although his former classmates were 1 year ahead of him, he went back to school. He often talked to his fellow pupils about the dangers of drug abuse. So he changed his ways, right? So the rehabilitation center made Mutulu change from drug taking. And now The rehabilitation center made Mutulu change from drug taking, and now he advises his classmates about the dangers of drug abuse. So that's how you are to respond to these questions, okay? I'm sure you attempted quite a number, and where you went wrong, you can make the correction. So I want to give you today's assignment. And I want you to write down in 2 paragraphs, write down the cause of drug abuse among young people and ways of stopping this problem. So write this in paragraph. The first paragraph, you're going to write cause of drug abuse. Then the second paragraph, write ways of stopping the problem. So my dear learner, we have read about a boy called Mutulu and how he got involved in drug abuse, but later on he was rescued. All right? So up to that point, we shall end today's lesson. Until next time, thank you so much and God bless you.